I'm going to show you the most underrated way to start manifesting your desires. And I know you probably heard a lot of people say this, but I've been fortunate to work with and be hired by entrepreneurs, high achievers, even some athletes, and being able to show them how to get to become a better version of themselves, make more money, or be just a better performer, higher performer. And you're probably watching this because you have wanted to change your life. You wanted to change your reality. You wanted to change something and you wanted more, but you just realized that you did not know how to actually do it. So, in this video, we're going to talk about the most underrated way that people do not even use and do not even think about when they're trying to change their reality, manifest their desires, and get to the next level in their life. So, let's get to it. So, I want you to understand this when we're talking about desires and manifesting what we want, right? When we talk about manifestation, let's write this in green. We talk about manifestation. Most people look at manifestation from a point of the external, and I want you to be very clear that in manifesting, you're not changing external reality. That is not our focus. Our focus is changing your internal, which then switches your perception, perspective, and then you get a new reality. Because you must understand this, that you have access to everything. You have access to everything that you want. But the problem is that you're internally not the person who you need to be to see what you need to see in order to take advantages of the opportunities that are there, right? So when you want to manifest and change your desires, right, you fall into one problem. And this is the biggest problem that people have when they're trying to manifest, is this right here. You want to change reality. You want something. So what do people say? They want more money. They want freedom. They want a relationship. They want a new car. They want a new house. Right? All these things that they say they want. Right? But these saying this and focusing on this is why you don't have any of those things. Because I want you to understand this, how what wanting is. Wanting in the universe equals lack. Because you have to understand this. You can only want what you don't have. If you don't have that new car, you're saying, I want this new car. If you don't have a new house, you're going to say, I want it. So when you're saying that you want something, that means you lack it. Right? And there's a knowing law in the universe that says you can, let's do it like this. It says you can only have what you already have. And this is the most annoying thing, because it says you can only have what you already have. What does that even mean? That means that all you can get is what is already there internally. Because in reality, the car, the money, the house, the business, the uh, relationship, anything, whatever it is that you want. It's all that is effect, right? This is the end of the equation. The cause, what is the cause? The cause to this effect is frequency. So when I change my frequency, that's the cause. The effect is I get more of these things. That's why in the Bible Jesus says, and when ye stand praying, believe that you received it and you will have it. Why do you say believe that you received it and that you will have it? Received, I before E except after C, guys. I cannot spell. Received is talking about the internal. Believe that you received it. Believe that you internally already have it. And then you will have it, which turns to the external or the physical. So the reason that you don't have it is because you want it. It says, and when you stand praying, believe you received it and you have it. What does that mean? If I'm saying I want this, that means I have never received it. Because I don't want something I've already received. Right? If I say I want shoes, if I tell my dad I want shoes, and my dad is capable and able to give me the shoes, what does he do? He's going to go on Amazon. He's going to order the shoes. My dad orders the shoes on Amazon. He sends me a confirmation. He sends me a screenshot that he ordered the shoes and they're shipping to my house. Right? What does that mean? I am no longer in a state of wanting because he shipped me the shoes. I've already received them internally because he sent me a screenshot and said they're on the way. So my frequency is going to be that I have them already. I'm going to be calm. I'm going to be energetic. I'm going to be happy. I'm going to be excited. I'm going to have the emotions, because what controls your frequency is your emotions, right? What changes your subconscious is your emotions. Your emotions are the factor that changes everything. I'm going to have the correct emotions, even though I physically don't have them yet. I don't have the shoes yet. They're not in my hands yet, but I have them because I already know they're ordered. I know they're on the way. So I'm going to have excitement. I'm going to be patient. I'm going to be calm. I'm going to feel reassured because I know they're coming. And then what happens? I eventually get the shoes physically. I physically get the shoes. So you have to understand that when you're thinking about wanting, right, that means you lack it. That means you don't have it, right? And you can only have what you ever have, right? That's in Genesis says, be fruitful, right? As a person, humans, we are to be fruitful. What does that mean? What is a fruit? A fruit is an organism that seeds are inside itself. So what does that mean? That means the seeds that are inside of you, what's in your heart, how you emotionally feel, that's what you will plant and get back, right? An apple tree is only going to produce apples. A pear tree is only going to produce pears. You can't plant a pear seed and expect to get apples. So what does that mean? That means the fruit that's in the seeds that I have, the seeds, which are my emotions, right? That's why Solomon says, as a man thinketh in his heart. As a man thinketh in his heart. What does that mean? As I think in my heart, as I think whatever my emotionally charged thoughts. That's who I am. So as I think in my heart, that's who I am. My emotionally charged thoughts, the thoughts that I have that are charged with emotion, because I can have my thoughts that just come in my head, and then I have thoughts that are emotionally, that are tied to an experience, that are tied to belief, that are tied to conviction. My emotionally charged thoughts are what I become. So if I am thinking about I want this new car, but what I think about is I have emotionally, I get angry, I get frustrated, I get sad, I get um uh, stressed. I feel these emotions to the thing that I say I want, that are negative emotions. What is going to happen is I am planting seeds of frustration. I am planting, right? I am planting. Let's pick something like brown. Let's do it like this. We'll pick something like this. In the dirt, what am I doing? I'm planting seeds of doubt, planting seeds of anger, frustration, sadness, fear. All these seeds I'm planting. So what sprouts out? A reality that is the same. And we'll make it a red tree because it's negative. We don't want this tree. So what happens is that I'm thinking that I want these things. I want these things. These things are desires, but they're attached to these seeds. So all I can do is produce a perception, produce opportunities, people, situations that multiply and magnify these things. And this is why you feel like you're in a cycle. Because you want something, so you're basically telling the universe, you're basically telling yourself that you lack it. So because you say that you want it and you lack it, you produce these emotions that creates this reality, that creates the people, the situations that keep these seeds growing. Because at the end of the day, you're going to produce what's the feelings and emotions that are inside of you. So what do you have to focus on? You have to focus on, instead of wanting, focus on having. And how do I focus on having? How do I focus on having? I focus on having by creating the emotions that I want. I'm using the word want. To experience. And I'm using this word want because you need to create the emotions that you currently lack in reality. So I got to create this emotion inside of me. Now, you can do this multiple ways. People think that they have to do it by visualization, affirmations. Those are just tools to help you do this. Like, that's why people, they try affirmations and they say, oh, affirmations don't work. Well, no, it's not that they don't work. It's just a tool. So if you don't have conviction or belief in the tool, it won't work. People say, oh, I try to visualize, it doesn't work. Well, no, it's just a tool. Those are not what manifestation is. It's not what changing reality is. Those are just tools to help you do it. Like, a hammer doesn't build a house. It's just a tool to help you do it. Like a saw doesn't cut down a tree. It's just a tool to help you do it. You can do it multiple ways. It's just a tool to help you do it. But you have to have the belief and conviction in the tool and understand that it's just a tool. Right? The key is not the tool. The key is you. So you have to understand that. You did take all this. That's what God said, be fruitful and multiply, because whatever the fruit that's in you will multiply. Whatever the seeds that you have planted inside your heart are going to multiply. So we have all these emotions that are tied to anger, frustration, doubt, sadness, that are tied to um, anxiety, anxiousness. Like, you're going to multiply those. The opportunities, the people that you meet will multiply those, because it wants to keep those there, because that's who you are. So you have to change that by creating the emotions. What are the emotions? Those emotions. And not saying you have to have those emotions. You have to have those emotions the way you have those emotions. Right? So a lot of people, what they do wrong is that they try to be overly excited. Like, they'll go to these conferences and jump up and down and get super excited. They'll jump up and scream and all that. They'll get overly excited. They'll get overly happy. And what happens is, when they come back home, they or they do that for a week, then they get overly anxious, overly sad, overly angry, frustrated. Why? Because of the law of rhythm, right? The pendulum swings both ways. So if you overly positive, it's going to swing. That's why people, they have these huge moments where they're super excited and they get stuck. But no, how do you fix that? Is that you need to focus on the emotions that you would have. Some of you watching this, you're like me, where I'm just a calm person in general. Like, I don't get super excited. Like, I don't jump up and down and scream. Like, that's not me. So when I'm using my tools, when I'm using visualizing, when I'm using affirmations, like, I don't get overly excited, right? I feel like, how would I actually feel this good thing when it shows up? How would I feel? I will feel calm. I will feel at peace. Some of you like getting excited. You're the person that is always jumping up and down, and you're super lit. You're bounce off the walls. That's you. So be you. You're not gonna just be the calm person. That's just gonna be when you get the new thing or the thing that you've been desiring. You're not gonna just be the person that sits there and be like, "Oh, that's cool." No, you're probably gonna be be who you are. Be who the person that you are, but understand you have to get to the point where you experience those emotions. And then when you experience those emotions, you need to normalize them, because you attract what's normal. This is why people get stuck in cycles again, because they're used to what's normal, because they attract what's normal. So you need to start normalizing those emotions. The problem is that a lot of you, these are emotions that you are feeling, these feelings that you're feeling, they're not normal. You haven't normalized them, right? The business that you want, the money that you want, the car that you want, the relationship is not normal. To you. So that's why it's hard. It's hard for it to come to you, because you have not made it normal. You've put these things above you. You put these things above you instead of putting them next to you. So you have to understand this. You put these things above you. All these things right here, you put them above you. So because you put them above you, you will never feel like you're good enough to get them. You will always be wanting them. You will always be lacking them, because they're too big for you. They're not normal. But when you make them normal, guess what's going to happen? You're going to start putting them in a position where they will start coming to you. The same way where there are things that you already manifest. You already know how to manifest. You already know how This is why you hear yourself saying these things. Have you ever heard yourself saying, this always happens? Why? Because it's normal. You've normalized it. You say it's always happens. So now it's so normal that you manifest it, but you don't even realize you're doing it. Because you say, this always happens. Oh, every time this happens, like this happens, always, like whatever is, if it's good or bad. But it's because you normalize it. So why don't you start normalizing good things happening? Why don't you start normalizing the money, the cars, the relationship, the businesses, all the things that you want? Start normalizing it and attaching those emotions to it, so those emotions become normal, and then you attract yourself to it. Like, if you want to make more money, you want to increase your income, normalize that income. One of the best ways I learned this, shout out to Myron Golden, he says, is he starts putting the word only in front of the money. So yeah, that's only $1 million. Because you say only $1 million, now it's becoming normal. Oh yeah, it's only $1 million. Or I only make $50,000 a month. You're trying to make $50,000. I only make $50,000 a month. I only make $100,000 a month. Like, because this is how you start normalizing it and making it normal. You start neutralizing those frequencies. You start neutralizing those emotions. So now it becomes normal. So now you attract it. But I want you to understand this. If stop wanting because you're lacking it. Stop wanting, because wanting, when you're wanting, you start getting in the universe desperation frequencies, and nobody wants any person that's desperate, right? I want you to think about the woman at the club with the dude who wants the girl, but all he does is keeps trying to talk to her. He keeps trying to converse with her. He keeps trying to, like, no, because that's not how frequencies work. But the guy that's in the corner of the room, and he just makes eye contact with her, and then he goes by and talks to other people, then he may make eye contact again. She's gonna be like, who is that? Like, and then he finally goes up and talks. Now she's gonna be more open to giving her number to him and going on a date. Why? Because he wasn't desperate. He wasn't trying to want it. He didn't want it. He already knew he had it. He knew he had he was the person that he needed to be to get the girl. So you have to become that person. Stop being desperate. Stop trying to overly want. Stop trying to, I want this, I want this, I want this, because you become desperate to the thing, and that thing will never want you. Become the person that is wanted by whatever you desire. Don't become the person that just wants the desire. I'll say that again. Write that down. Become the person that is wanted by your desire, not the person that wants the desire. And how do you do that? By neutralizing, normalizing the things you want, by feeling those emotions, by changing your frequency. Become aware of the emotions that you have attached to the thoughts of the things you want. Yes, you say you want your business to grow, but what emotions are attached to those thoughts? Do you get anxious? Do you get nervous? Do you get sad? Do you get frustrated that it hasn't happened? Are you excited? Are you calm? Or do you find a sense of peace and relief because you know you already have it? And when you do those things, everything will change for you.